Morning students, in previous class we had discussed about February Revolution and today we are going to talk about what happened after February. So here we go. After February, you know that provisional government was set up in Russia and Soviet Petrograd were set up everywhere. Lenin wrote the book April Thesis. Vladimir Lenin, I'm talking about. Vladimir Lenin was the person who was the leader of Bolshevik party, and when he came to know about the provisional government and Kerensky was the prime minister of provisional government, Lenin started to think about socialist party and the idea of socialism. Actually, we are talking about socialism in Europe. Then we will have to understand that the concept of socialism and the ideology of Lenin and the Communist Party and so many things are there. Lenin wrote the book April Thesis. What was the important thing in that book? First of all, land. The land is the most important things for the peasants, those who are doing agriculture. So Lenin promised to the people of Russia, especially peasants, land to be transferred to the peasants. रसा के अंदर ज़मीनें पेजेंट्स को दे दी जाएगी, जो एग्रीकल्चर कर रहे हैं, जो इस प्रैक्टिस से जुड़े हुए हैं, उनको ये ट्रांसफ़र किया जाएगा. दिस वाज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट डिमांड ऑफ द पेजेंट्स फ्रॉम द अर्ली 18th और 17th century, and now it is going to be fulfilled by the Lenin. So Lenin became savior, masiha for the people of Russia. So the people trusted into him. Bread, the most important thing. Without bread and butter, how can we live? How can we survive? Bread is very important because we need bread, we need food. Because food, cloth and shelters are the basic needs of a human being. As an individual, we must know that what are our basic requirements. So the basic idea behind the Russian Revolution was to bring radical change in the structure of society and the living condition of the people, those who were living in grim situation and in unhygienic condition. You can say that there was no facility of sanitation at all. So the land was going to be transferred to the peasants, those who are doing agriculture. Bread, workers and peasants के लिए बहुत important है. Banks to be nationalized, राष्ट्रीयकरण होगा, बैंकों का राष्ट्रीयकरण होगा. This was one of the most important thing. सरकारीकरण और निजीकरण में ये अंतर है. प्राइवेटाइजेशन जो है निजीकरण, और यहाँ पर क्या कहा जा रहा है, बैंक्स बी नेशनलाइज्ड, मतलब सभी बैंकों को राष्ट्रीयकृत किया जाएगा ताकि जो पेजेंट्स है, जो बिजनेसमैन है, जो लेबर क्लास है, जो वर्कर्स है, वो सभी कर्ज ले सके बैंकों से और उनमें ये फीलिंग आ सके कि हमारे लिए है, उनकी सुविधा के लिए है. तो पब्लिक सेक्टर्स बनाने की बात की जा रही थी. So these are the good things. These are the very important points which we are discussing now. So Lenin was leading the Bolshevik party, you know that, and it was renamed itself Communist Party. The party you know about, the Communist. This was earlier known as Bolshevik Party, the party of majority. I have already told you in previous classes, Menshevik and Bolshevik. So Bolshevik party was renamed itself Communist Party with radical aims. I have deliberately written this point. Radical aims means something great is going to be happen in Russia in order to bring change, a great change. आमूलचूल परिवर्तन की बात की जा रही थी, एक बहुत बड़े बदलाव की बात की जा रही थी. कौन बदलाव करना चाह रहा था, किस प्रकार का बदलाव होने वाला था? बोल्शेविक पार्टी के नेतृत्व में एक नई संस्कृति और एक नए क्रांति को जन्म देने की बात की जा रही थी. लेनिन को ये बात मालूम चल गया था कि जो प्रोविजनल गवर्नमेंट है, जो करेंस्की इसका प्राइम मिनिस्टर बना है, इट वाज नॉट गोइंग टू बी सर्वाइव फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. So he began discussing about change, uprisings and revolts and so many things. We will have to discuss about these things also. So the surprise was April Thesis. You know that the April Thesis written by Lenin, the leader of Bolshevik party. It is also called Communist Party. Now you will call Communist, the party for common people, peasants and workers. And Lenin was telling to the people of Russia, land, bread and banks to be nationalized. These were the slogans of Bolshevik party, and you can say Lenin. Lenin was looking for a great change, that was radical change, And the surprise was April Thesis, the book in which he discussed about these things, the ideology of land, prison, breads, and so many. So Bolshevik influence was growing. You can see in your textbook you will find out Bolshevik influence was growing because in countryside area, peasants, workers, those who were socialist revolutionary, they started to grab the land, they started to capture the land. So people had intention, they had feeling that yes, certainly Lenin is going to bring a great change for Russian people, for the Russian community. The entire community was very happy with these steps of, with these initiatives of Lenin. And in the month of July, you can see that people had discontent with provisional government. This government was leading by, Kerensky. Kerensky was the prime minister of provisional government. The word provisional means itself, it says that it means for temporary, for a short span of time. You can say that for a little bit time. This was not a permanent setup one. So people had discontent, that in the month of July, pro-Bolshevik demonstrations, you can see in your textbook pictures, demonstrations means प्रदर्शन. अब जुलाई के महीने में बोल्शेविक की जो रिवॉल्ट हुई, जो तो फाइनली अक्टूबर में हुई थी, प्रो मतलब से पहले का दिखाया गया. जुलाई में लोगों ने डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस किया पेजेंट्स को लैंड ट्रांसफ़र करने की, जो बात मैं बता रहा था आपको यहाँ ऊपर में, इस सब को लेकर के डिमांड चालू हो गया था. So the people of countryside, revolutionary peasants started to demand lands. They had a question. They had some discontent with there was a conflicting situation. There was a dispute between these two, provisional government and the Communist Party. That was the Bolshevik one. So due to growing conflict, Lenin had fear that it might be provisional government would set up a dictatorship. लेनिन को भी ये डर था कि हो सकता है कि इस डिसकंटेंट की वजह से, इस प्रकार के डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस की वजह से, इट माइट बी कि वहाँ पर प्रोविजनल गवर्नमेंट डिक्टेटरशिप को ना ले आए, तानाशाही शासन व्यवस्था को, जिसमें सिंगल मैन की गवर्नमेंट होती है और वो सब कुछ मतलब रेकलेसली और बिल्कुल बिना किसी सोच समझ के बिल्कुल अनवांटेड तरीके से सब कुछ इम्प्लीमेंट करता है. यू कैन सी in these things about Nazism, the chapter 3 in history, which will be taught to you in second term. Okay, so there was not a good situation, not a healthy environment at that time in Russia. So there was a growing conflict in the Lenin's mind, and there was a fear also. So you realize that the dictatorship, it was an option at that time. So Lenin had fear, certainly. Ultimately, it was a fear in his mind. Lenin thought that it might be possible that provisional government would set up a dictatorship in Russia. So he started to think about a change, a revolution, a surprising revolution for Russian community, for the betterment of Russian people, and to root out the provisional government and to set up a new system, new form of government, communist government. So Lenin was ready for that. In September, he began discussing uprising against provisional government. In next lecture, we will talk about the Lenin's initiative, the October Revolution. In next class, we will study about In next class, we will study about October Revolution 1917. And what kind of step was taken by Lenin. Lenin's role का हम लोग assessment करेंगे. So thank you very much. I hope that you have got it. If you have any problem still, you may ask, you may write down in the comment box. You can send me messages for any query and any information regarding this chapter. And in this topic, everything is clear to you, I hope. Thank you very much.